You're on mute. Connor, you're on mute.
Oh, great. Good stuff. Well, I'm back now. Hello, welcome. Good start, as usual. It's fine. This episode is not going to be the greatest. There's not a lot going on. Bit of a negative start. Paolo, how are you?
I'm good, man. Listen, I've got... you know what? Let's fill it with something, yeah? Because I haven't done a show since the announcement. But if you didn't see Combat Kings' channel, they had the recent episode on, and they had the guy who runs a Don's DFC club Flips on, and they were talking about MMA and everything else.
Right.
I got called out on the channel to box.
Oh. Okay.
Which I just want to squash any rumours to bed. I will not be fighting. However,
come on, man.
However, Greeny and Shane are fighting, and I feel like it's my duty to get this one out there. Otherwise, we won't see the fight. So what I'm trying to say is, Greeny, Shane, make sure you arrive on June the 8th on DFC. Two friends collide, but they tried to arrange this last time. And I don't know the logistics of it, but at the time, Shane didn't pass a medical because of his shoulder. Okay. I don't know what the excuse is now. Hopefully there's none, but they keep talking about this. So ribs, flips, make it happen. But I won't be fighting. I just need to clear any rumours.
No, the thing is that you can't have professionals like you getting in there. It's not fair.
Don't do that, because you know what it is.
No, there's some good fighters.
You're adding fuel to the fire that is already, they're trying to ignite, and I'm just not fighting. So, like I said to you, on and on upwards with the show. How are you doing, Connor?
I'm good. I didn't see that news. I didn't see you being called out. I saw a little bit back Combat Kings. I did not see that you've been called out. I think you should be fighting, but I also think you should probably be protecting yourself. So, rule number one: protect yourself at all times. So, kind of.
And I will be protecting myself by not participating. However, as always, I give my blood, sweat, and tears into that show, and I'll continue to do so from behind the camera. That is my final say on it. Let me just squash all the rumours. DFC fans, I will not be fighting.
All right. Let's do the very quick weekly roundup. So we're going to talk about quite a lot of little topics this week, but to kind of sum up, Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, the promotion for that is getting a bit mental. They're now on Piers Morgan.
Which comes out tomorrow,
Piers
right?
Morgan, but so that comes out tomorrow. Lots of little clips have already come out to promote it. Realistically, whether or not you like Piers Morgan, he gets some two are entertaining.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. Piers Morgan is a guy you either agree with him or you don't.
I just think he's a dick.
Yeah, but he does speak from a place of sense sometimes.
His interviews are fine. This Piers Morgan Uncensored show is actually... I'm not a big-time hater of anyone, really.
Piers Morgan, by the sounds of it.
No. There's people I don't like more than Piers Morgan. But his show is good for interviews. He knows how to rile people up, so it'll be good for promotion. But I will watch it. It's more just a point of how mental this fight going to be. Because, you got two fighters that get this is a big step. And on that topic is the fact Chris Eubank Sr. was not impressed with Junior and his egg antics. Like I say, we're not going to talk about it too much. There's not much more to say, but basically Senior is not supporting the fight in any way. Then what else has happened? Keith Thurman returned to the ring for the first or second time in 2 years and battered Brock Jarvis, who we've previously seen. Probably the biggest fight he's been with Liam Paro in the past. So Keith Thurman won that and then called out Tim Tszyu, which could be a good fight.
Were they not meant to fight? Were they not meant to fight before?
I think so. I think that fell through, and that's why he's fought Brock Jarvis. Yeah. So Keith Thurman back. If he's fit and actually ready to fight and able, then it's good to have him on the scene, because I think a little bit more competition at that sort of 147, 154, even though it is stacked, but it would be quite good to have a couple more guys in there. And so the only final thing is all the reaction to Dana White and Turki Al-Sheikh's boxing league, of which you've had very little comments from Bob Arum and Frank Warren, and Eddie Hearn is seemingly quite positive about it, which kind of gives you an idea. The older generation not as keen. This sort of newer guys and Eddie Hearn a little bit more on board.
We're all here for it.
Yeah, we are. And I think we'll get details on it relatively soon because they're not just signing contracts without any idea.
I'll be totally honest with you. Yeah, no, they're not going to get everyone that you think that they're going to get on it to start with. But what it will do is open up opportunities for new fighters to come out, show their face, a new league. But I did want to touch on it because my best friend Mauricio, isn't he doing basically the same thing with a WBC tournament?
Yeah, so we didn't mention this too much.
What's the difference between that tournament and the boxing league?
There is very little difference.
It's like that UEFA Super League and the Champions League format conversation now.
So the WBC's one is going to be fighters that have had less than 10 pro fights. So generally it's meant to be for prospects. That's kind of where they're going with that.
Isn't Dana White looking at doing that? He's looking at taking people.
Dana White's looking at taking over the whole sport.
But but Dana White's come out and said he wants people on there that are going to fight. That means he doesn't want he'll take on people who have O's and different don't have their O and they've lost fights and to build fighters up. It's the same thing to what Mauricio's doing now.
Yeah, that is
no difference.
The difference is Dana White's is a little bit more ambitious and he wants to redo the whole way boxing works. Whereas Mauricio is just doing a tournament that builds prospects up. Either way, both are good for the sport. I mean, we don't give the WBC too much credit. This would be one of the only times where I would say actually fair enough because this is quite good. But then I think Dana White's going to do it better. We did get the weight classes for Dana White's one, actually.
Let's be honest and let's have it right. Yeah, Mauricio Suleiman cannot execute that better than Dana White, who is arguably one of the best in his scene of what he does in the world.
He's absolutely the best.
Arguably better than Eddie Hearn. Some people argue. And Eddie Hearn's probably one of the best in the game right now.
I think he is. I think he
Frank
is.
Warren, give flowers to Frank Warren as well because Frank Warren's been there. To be fair, he's one of the older guys that's actually accustomed to like the newer ways. So you've got to give a shout out to Frank Warren there.
And then Bob Arum's a bit of a dinosaur.
Bob
Legend though.
Bob Arum is stubborn and it's just stubborn. I mean, look with all due respect, what's his representation on female boxing?
I mean, it's low. Like Bob Arum's very much living in the 80s. And he's still kind of just dragging that along with him.
Friday shows,
I mean, they had a show today.
Has he got a show today?
Well, they had one today. It was in Japan, so Kenshiro Taraji won another belt, unified again at 100 and something.
But how bad is this here? That let's be honest, what was the marketing for that?
Minimal. To be fair, I knew about it this morning when I went on my phone before work and I saw Fight Night starts now or whatever, and I was like, oh, okay. I like Taraji, by the way, and I know a lot of people, a lot of casual fans especially. I've not watched him that much. I know a lot of casual fans have even heard the name. The guy's now got 2 belts as a world champion. He's like a 2-division world champion. He's a properly good fighter. So he's promoted so badly.
I think the best boxing promoters are the promoters that are able to put fighters in front of the casuals and make them know their names. So like Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, Oscar De La Hoya he's all right as well, to be fair.
De La Hoya's got his own personality. Drags people in that.
And then Bernard Hopkins obviously as well, who's linked in with that.
Yeah.
So it's always we talk about Oscar De La Hoya, but it's not just him. Hopkins is involved in it as well. But going back to the point, Dana White is doing something revolutionary. I love the UFC model, by the way. I actually love it because no one hides from anyone. Everyone's got to fight everyone, and there's one belt. Yeah. For me, that model there, the only issue that they're going to have and they need to come over, which is the wages and the salaries, because you're not going to be offering like the purses are getting paid now 30, 40 million, 50 million to fight. That isn't how Dana White runs his operation on UFC.
Yeah.
UFC globally is huge. So I think it's going to be difficult to navigate that in the boxing world with currently what's on offer. But I do think eventually people will see the model and they'll love it. Do you know what I mean? And word to Flips, because Flips from DFC said it takes his focus away from slap competitions that he does.
True. That stuff's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's like
So,
proper.
but I listen. I am open for it. Yeah, and a lot of people who are more experienced in this industry than me will disagree. But I'm telling you, as a man, as a paying fan, because I always go back to that point. It's the paying fan. We're the paying fans, right?
Yeah.
We watch boxing. We've been to fights live. We've bought tickets for them. I've been to some boxing cards where I've gone, and I always use it as an example. Dillian White and Tyson Fury. I paid £90 for my ticket. Ask me if that £90, just for the main event was okay for what it was. Tyson Fury won. Other than that, the card was stink. It stunk, the card.
Yeah.
So I think we justify the money and everything else. So I listen. Look, I think Dana White's going to be good for this. I'm excited to see where it goes, and I'm definitely open to seeing what he's got to offer because I really respect the UFC model.
Yeah, of course. I think the one thing with the wages that might be okay is that Dana White can run it the way he wants, because Turki Al-Sheikh is going to provide all the money anyway. So that's where we might see it kind of being all right, because he's got such a big backing. But equally, Turki Al-Sheikh probably doesn't want to spend as much as he does on fighters' wages. So if he can cut that down, he will. Why not? Let's talk about the fights up in last week, because I feel like we need to get into the fact that next week, you have actually lost our wager. So next week, Paolo, you are doing the shake. Now, I've not decided on my ingredients yet, and this was a bit of a rushed week, but I will be texting you tomorrow evening 5 ingredients. You can either film it, you can either do it live and prepare it before, or you can film it and we'll show it to the people on Thursday night.
So
but,
I'm going to help you.
Yeah.
This is going to get exposure. This will go out as a reel. So this reel will be on Hooked Casuals, Boxing Corner Casuals, Hooked Boxing, and DFC.
Okay.
So essentially, Connor, just explain the wager very quickly and what I lost.
So we've started doing a little wager where we pick a fight. We each pick a fighter to win whatever fight. Basically the main event of that week. This week, last week, it was Lauren Price versus Natasha Jonas. I said Lauren Price would win. Paolo was quite confident with Natasha Jonas. Lauren Price won 190, and now we're here. So the wager was for a shake, or like a 5 ingredient. Technically anything goes, but I think like raw food is a bit crazy, so we won't be doing that.
Do you know what? People at DFC are sick, by the way. So these lot will put mad in just for your proper. So basically, put your ingredients that you would put forward in a shake. 5 of them in the comments.
You know, eggs are getting in there.
Huh?
Eggs are going to get put in there, bro.
No, I can't do eggs.
I wouldn't do do that.
Salmonella.
I would never.
No salmonella. No, none of that. I'm not Rocky. I'm not drinking eggs. But spice, all of that. Spices. I lost the wager, put 5 ingredients in.
I need to be careful because I know that this will come back on me at some point.
No, as long as you don't give me food poisoning, I'll pause. Do you know what I mean?
All right. We'll work something out with it. But yeah, next week, Paolo has to take that.
Yeah, I lost the bet.
I don't know if we're going to do it for this week because it's a bit of a one-sided main event. We'll get to it, but
let me assess how bad this drink's going to be, and then we'll figure out the next one.
Okay. Either way, let's talk about this. It was another all-women's event, International Women's Day. Really good promotion by Boxer.
Yeah.
because the amount of like celebrities and everyone that was just turning up to support female athletes, even if they didn't know who the fighters necessarily were, the amount of them that were just there was brilliant.
Second all-female boxing card by Ben Shalom.
Yeah, I was at the first. I was really lucky.
I was as well.
Yeah, that Clarissa Shields needs to come back and fight in the UK again.
Clarissa Shields is I don't know what weight she's going to fight at next. She's a heavyweight now.
Yeah,
I feel like she could go down to. I think she should work down the weights because that's what she's doing. Just do it at super flyweight. Go and see if you win a title there. Because do you know what? 150, 147.
Yeah,
Got that fight, but it's if she can cut that weight to get down to that. Do you know what I'm
I reckon
saying?
she could.
Yeah, I reckon she could, but how much of her what she's good at would she lose? That's a big cut.
I know.
Clarissa Shields is 31, 32.
Yeah, my problem is I can't see anybody outdoing her. Like, I think she is so good. I can't see anyone beating her. But even if she's a little bit slower or a little bit, you know.
Do you know what's mad here? When we talk about obviously great female boxers,
she isn't even 30. She's 29.
Yeah, it's mental. She's 1 year younger than me. That's crazy. When we talk about female boxers, we talk about the Taylors, Jonas, Natasha Jonas, maybe in terms of this side of the water, being who they are and how big they are. Obviously, Lauren Price has gone on and done big things now. And she could definitely be another light. She's definitely got the talent to do it and get to the promised land of undisputed. But when we talk about it, why don't people mention Clarissa Shields enough? Because when you actually look at what she's won, it's mental, by the way. Olympic.
And the way she's done it as well. It's not even like she's never struggled. She's so much better than everyone else.
And she had a tough fight with Savannah Marshall. But by the way, Savannah Marshall is a great boxer. There's another name I'm talking about. Just even in terms of female boxing, Savannah Marshall, and put on a great performance against Savannah Marshall, and it was a tough fight. I don't think there's many people that beat Savannah Marshall, to be honest.
No.
If any.
Savannah Marshall's powerful. I mean, the build-up for that fight was amazing because we remember we were watching Shields fought in the UK and she fought, I want to say Emma Kosian because I think it's the same girl that fought Katie Taylor at one point, and everyone was watching that fight. Shields fought in Newcastle, so in Savannah Marshall's backyard, to promote the fight. Didn't knock her out, and Shields just did her job. And Shields in that interview was like, "Doesn't matter. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to beat Savannah Marshall. It's cool." Savannah Marshall fights like 2 weeks later and knocks her opponent out. I don't know her name. In like round 2, round 3, cleans her out, and everyone's like, oh, "Okay, this is like one punch power in women's boxing. This is crazy." Then they fight. Perfect performance. Like Shields, like Marshall was very good, but Clarissa Shields just showed levels. I mean, I still want them to have a rematch, but don't think that's going to happen.
It'll be happen, but there's a lot more respect there than there was. I think there was always respect there, but I think
I reckon they like each other a little bit now.
Nah, they do, but there's a competitive. They're both competitive.
Oh yeah.
So when it comes to the fight, it's like meeting your friend in the cage playing football, 1-on-1.
Yeah, you want to win.
You're gonna kick legs. You're gonna kick if you can't get near him. You're gonna take him out. That's your best friend. So, do you know what I mean? Not saying they're best friends, but my point being, it's just a competitive edge that I'm so happy we see in boxing. I'll put my glasses on because this light is mental. But yeah, bro, like, to be honest with you, like when we talk about down the card as well, Artisar had a good performance.
Yeah.
Karis Artisar had a great performance against Raven Chapman. Fran Hennessy was on the card. A convincing, comfortable win.
Again,
keeps doing it, but she's very, very good.
Get a bit more respect now as well, I think, from like a wider, like a boxing audience, rather than.
Do you know what it is as well? Yeah. Do you know what's mad about Fran Hennessy? She's so humble. Yeah. She don't even demand it, but you need to give her respect where respect's due. You understand?
Hmm.
So it's like she doesn't. She'll be the first to say, like, I think I remember when I interviewed her, and she was talking about kind of the comments and that side of social media in terms of how bad it can be, especially for her boxing and stuff like that, and the negative comments she gets. And it's like, do you know what it is here? You got to remember, she's like 19 now, or nearly 20. Like, to be able to block all that out, then go and do a job every time you fight. It's impressive to see. She's got her head screwed on. She's always training. She's always ready to go. And I think those fighters go far. Do you know what I mean? Luckily,
100%.
she's got guided, like, a team behind her who guides her quite well. But she puts in the graft. Do you know what I mean? It's not. They're just there to kind of. You need people like around you that are not yes men. She ain't got yes men or yes women around her. Do you know what I mean? She's got a family, and her family would be the first ones to tell her, like, nah, you need to fix up, if she ever did. But in terms of her performance, I was impressed. I was gutted because we was doing a stream that I missed it live, and I was meant to be going to that fight. But obviously, this took precedence, and so we had to get this done. But I watched the fight, and she, amazing. I think the card was great from top to bottom. What an advert for women's boxing. And to be honest with you, like I said to you, Ben Shalom's done it again.
Yeah. He's good at that, Ben Shalom. He's got, like, there's definitely some stuff he does where it's like, I don't really know why, but this is one of his strong suits. He's got such a good female stable of fighters, and doing these events and having all female events is really good. Like, well, why not? I mean, I saw Francesca Hennessy had everyone coming into her changing room and, like, saying hello. Well, it really makes them feel like, oh, superstars, which they are anyway, but it actually makes them feel like that rather than just kind of, right, you're fighting. There's a bit more to it. But we kind of need to talk about the main event because Lauren Price is, I mean, I was about to say, with Caressa Shields, Lauren Price versus Shields would be the fight.
How one-sided that looked, and I don't mean that in any disrespect. But remember, obviously, as well, what Jonas has done. She's 40 years old. She's done so much in boxing. And I think it was that kind of just passing of the torch. I know that's not what she wanted it to be before the fight. And obviously, you're going to say you're going to win.
But Miss GB.
Watching it in hindsight, that is kind of what it was. It's 100%. A great fighter handing it down to potentially another great fighter. Lauren Price has got the whole package, by the way.
She's incredible.
She made it look really easy at times. Although Jonas was courageous in coming back to fight. Great corner behind her. But Price was too sharp, too quick, and too young.
But I think we're now seeing the era of women's fighters that have actually been in the gym since they were kids.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of sort of the Katie Taylor had to pretend to be a boy to even get in the gym. And you'll find a lot of stories are similar to that. Whereas Lauren Price, I'm not saying it would have been easy, but she would have been allowed in the gym. And then she would have had, when GB come along, GB have a women's team now, or would have had one for her, when she was going up. So she's had the best training, or should have had near enough the best training as she's evolved and got to this point. Whereas the Jonases and the Taylor Serranos, Jessica McCaskill, a lot of these fighters, they look a little bit like, when you watch them, especially as a casual fan. I remember the first time watching a lot of women's boxing, and I was like, it's not, in some ways it's way, way cleaner, but in a lot of ways it's quite rugged. Like, they just go to war for 10 rounds. They just have a fight.
I think you got to remember as well is obviously where a lot of the fights are 2-minute rounds. They haven't got massive amounts of time.
Yeah, they got to prove something.
Their authority in a round. So obviously, not saying it's still 2 minutes, but obviously 2 minutes and 3 minutes might be a big difference. But then again, we're seeing
that should be up to 3 minutes, by the way.
Huh?
That should be up to 3 minutes.
Yeah, but I think if you ask any female fighter, they'll fight 3 minutes.
Yeah, but especially, I'm just saying, especially now that we've got fighters like Lauren Price, who are just so technically gifted and brilliant, that they can. I mean, her skills are so good. You'd back her against a lot of fighters. I mean, in terms of female fighters, I don't know who can beat her.
Yeah, but you know, here what I'm saying is, you know what it is as well. Whereas it's easy to say they should be fighting 3-minute rounds, they need to be compensated for it as well.
Yeah.
So there is that argument there, which I think Katie Taylor raised before. She should fight 3 minutes. She's paid for it. Do you know what I mean? You're not, you know, like you wouldn't work for free.
Yeah.
You don't, do you know what I mean? You don't do extra hours for free. Why is it any different for women's boxing?
No, of
If
course.
you do extra hours for free, you're an idiot. Go and get your money, man. But like, yeah, like you need to do. They need to be paid for it. So, do you know what I mean? Especially like Katie Taylor and Serrano, if they're doing like 6 million in purses, rightly so, then do you know what I mean? It's you can warrant 3-minute rounds. But then if you're getting paid like 40 grand to fight, or 30 grand, or I don't know how much in terms of purses, but if you're not getting paid massive amounts, and then say there's a male fighter in your respective, maybe similar weight class, at the similar stage as you fighting, then and they're getting paid more than you, but because they're doing, do you know what I mean? So there's that disparity there. So I think that's the only thing that might be holding it back a bit. But hopefully it gets sorted soon. But I know, like the fighters, a game. Like if you ask a fighter,
oh yeah, of course,
in 3-minute rounds. So
they're fighters. They'll fight. They'll do 15 rounds if they're told right. You're in there for 15. They'll do 15. That's the kind of cloth they're cut from. But yeah, Lauren Price is incredible. I think she'll undisputed, unified. She's probably. I mean, when we first saw Caroline Dubois, we were like, oh my god, she's brilliant, and she's been brilliant, but she's not quite taken the world by storm just yet. Whereas Lauren Price is just there's a whole other level of fighting with her. She's unbelievably good, and I'd love to see her against Claressa Shields if that was ever possible, because you've got two boxing purists against each other.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. Two boxing purists, and that was a great card. I deservedly Lauren Price are on, and I'm paying the price. In a shot. Thank you, Natasha, in that sense. But when we're talking about the fight and we're talking about the night, it was a great event.
Yeah. Now, we haven't got too much more to go through. First of all, Joseph Parker is now mandatory for Alexander Usyk. I still think it's going to be Usyk Dubois. Don't think he's going to get his chance, but for the WBO, Joseph Parker is mandatory. I love Joseph Parker. I think he's a great fighter. I don't think he beats Usyk, though. I don't really see a world where that could possibly happen. Don't know if you agree or not with that, but that Usyk would beat Parker.
I don't understand where these things come from, where they think Dubois is going to beat Usyk either.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there's only the only fighter I thought that could beat Usyk. Usyk beat twice already, and that was Tyson Fury. So I really now don't. And even then, I was thinking Usyk would win. So really, now we're looking at like wild card. Moses Atalma, kind of not right now, but eventually. But that's not going to happen.
Moses Atalma might be stepping in to fight Riakporhe, though.
I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. Let's just talk about that. The Parker being mandatory isn't massive news. Okolie pulls out days after the Riakporhe post, which kind of went a little bit viral. Moses Atalma steps in. By the way, Moses Atalma, I like Richard Riakporhe. I think Richard Riakporhe's a good boxer. Atalma will flatten him.
Can I be honest with you, yeah? And people are not going to like this, yeah? But I'm just speaking as a boxing fan. I tried to walk into Coral and put a bet on Moses Atalma to win a heavyweight title in the next 5 years. He will flatten Riakporhe.
Yeah.
Like as a boxing fan,
I don't think Riakporhe should take that fight. Is how dangerous.
It's long. Moses Atalma is a long fighter for everyone, though.
Yeah.
Like, you're talking about a heavyweight. Have you seen the way he boxes?
He does everything near perfect.
The way he can jab to the box, and switch smoothly.
And move,
move like a heavyweight, man.
And then you add all that. You add all of that, and I'm pretty sure, right? He doesn't even need power. because I think he could outbox everyone. And then you add the fact he hits like a car. Like
You
it's
also
like
add the fact that
car.
he's not technically, physically fully developed yet because he's 19 years
That's
old.
just scary, though. That's scary.
Ridiculous.
When you think that guy could actually get more powerful. That's scary.
So,
Yeah. We're at a point with the Tama where I think realistically the only person who I don't think he would have a chance against right now is Alexander Usyk. And that's only because I think Usyk has just got experience over him.
Yeah, of course. But
that's a respect thing, because then you think about it, I'm saying Usyk, one of the pound for pound best fighters
ever.
Well, definitely at the moment, but ever. One of the greatest heavyweights of all time. I'm saying Atama beats, not necessarily beats, but I think it's 50-50 or he's going to win the fight. Everyone underneath. And that includes Fury, Joshua, Okolie, Parker, Ajit Kabayel. That includes them all, because Atama's just got something ridiculously special about him. And he will beat Riakporhe if that happens. And I don't think it will happen because Richard Riakporhe's team will not be that stupid. Okolie's a little bit disappointing from Lawrence Okolie. I was quite looking forward to that fight.
Yeah.
Build up was good. But if you're injured, you're injured. And I'd rather not see a fighter fight injured. So
I think Okolie beats Riakporhe, to be really honest with you, anyway. But
yeah.
It's a fight. So. It would have been great on the card, but obviously now, so Lawrence Okolie's pulled out. Dillian White's pulled out.
Yeah, it's not looking as good as it did. So we've got David Adelaide versus Jamie TKV, and then Delicious Ori on there as well.
Yeah, the card's not looking great at the moment. But
no,
it's a heavyweight card, and pullouts happen.
Yeah, still got Joe Joyce, still got Riakporhe.
They're not the easiest things to do, but I feel like Frank Warren is experienced enough to be able to know what to get in. Yeah. So I think it's good that they knew this kind of when's the fight? April.
Yeah, mid-April, late April. I want to say 26th, but I'm not quite sure.
Still got some time. So depends who they're going to get in with, but I'm sure nonetheless it's still a heavyweight card. So I think they'll aim to
April 5th. Okay, so like a month away.
Yeah. Not really a month away though.
Well, less, but
a couple of
like
weeks.
3 weeks. Yeah. They can find a replacement who's hopefully fit enough to.
Well, I don't know why you just don't put Moses into this card. Like he has to be. I know Moses is ready.
Put him against Joyce.
Moses against Joyce or Riakporhe.
I like the Joyce fight only because Joyce has got bigger wins.
I want him in there with these lot so he gets up that ladder.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely believe that I think he's just too. It's
a bit of a conflict of interest with Frank Warren though if he does it with Joyce, isn't it?
Who's going to make you more commercially in the long run? Who's going to make you?
Oh, it's Omar every day of the week, but it's about the fact Joyce is still saying he wants to fight.
Can I be real with you though?
Frank Warren will be feeding him to the wolves.
Putting Moses Talma in the ring with Joe Joyce
is dangerous.
Dangerous physically for Joe Joyce.
That would be one of the fights where I'm getting to a point. I don't even know if I'd want to watch that because of what could potentially, happen to a guy that's already seemingly a little bit slower than he was when he started fighting. So, yeah. But either way, the whole card is currently a bit of a shambles, but we'll see because people can get added. It can be saved quite easily. Naoya Inoue is in America, so everyone can shut up because he's there. He's fighting Cardenas in Vegas. Everybody can shut up because Naoya Inoue is in Las Vegas fighting Cardenas, and then he's going to go and fight Akhmadaliev in Saudi in September, I want to say, on the Crawford Canelo undercard.
Then leave him alone. Let him go back to Tokyo.
Yeah. And then he's going to do all this, and then can't wait for it. I can't wait for it. Because you know what's going to happen is he's going to knock the guy out. We're not even going to talk about this for too long. There's not much to talk about. We know what Naoya Inoue is going to do. I've watched enough of. I haven't watched a lot of Cardenas. I'm not claiming to, but I've watched enough to tell you right now, Cardenas is not beating him. He is tough, Cardenas. He's Mexican. I think 33-0 and maybe a draw. So, okay, potentially there's an upset on the cards, but there's not. There's not. Naoya Inoue is too quick, too powerful. But what's going to happen is that Naoya Inoue will knock him out, and then American fans will say, "Well, yeah, but you didn't have him fighting one of us though," and all this stupid shit, and we'll get more comments. And then he'll go to Saudi, he'll beat Akhmadiev, and then we'll have the same shit, and then I think he goes up in weight. And by the way, I have tied this in beautifully because then I think he might fight Nick Bull, who fights this weekend. Did you like what I did there?
Yeah,
that was really, no, this ties in well because Nick Bull's fighting TJ Donaghy. Naoya Inoue broke TJ Donaghy's back through his abs in the last fight. So that was kind of the one where you said it was like he was spoon feeding.
Back through his abs.
Yeah, we covered this where a body punch ended up completely ruined TJ Donaghy's back. Naoya Inoue body punch ruined his back. And then you messaged me around the fight and you said about how it was like Inoue was trying to spoon feed his granddad or something like that.
Yeah, I was sitting on a sun lounger in Tenerife.
Oh yeah.
Watching the fight. That was
brilliant. Oh, that's the dream.
But, listening to a pool instructor do the midday thing in the ring.
Where they get their little DJ out.
In the ring? What was it? In the ring? Swimming pool.
They get the DJ out and you get all the 50-year-old mums.
Pause, by the way, because that sounded mad. But yeah.
Anyway, moving on. TJ Donaghy, this is setting up the Naoya Inoue fight.
Nick Bull's going to batter him, though.
Yeah, 100%. But they're going to be like, oh, look, Nick Bull did it better.
How? Better how?
I don't know, round one.
Yeah, I hear it. Nick Bull's going to steamroll through.
Yeah. The problem with these fights is I know they're really good for promotion, right? So when Nick Bull does fight Naoya Inoue in the future, which I do firmly believe is going to happen, we'll look back at this and go, Nick Bull beat Donaghy in round 1 or 2, but I don't like this fight.
Yeah, I'll be real with you. That fight between this fight is done for me. Like Nick Bull's winning. But if I go on to the bigger one, which is Inoue and Nick Bull, that's only taking place in 2 places. Yeah, it's not Liverpool. It's not the UK. It's either Saudi or Tokyo because there ain't no chance that Inoue's coming to the M&E. Was it the M&E Arena in Liverpool?
Yeah. Yeah. The only way it would happen in Liverpool.
Anfield. Is he even a Liverpool fan?
Yeah. Big Liverpool fan.
So then
I mean, that would be my dream. Naoya Inoue at Anfield. It's not happening. It'll be at Tokyo. It'll be Saudi. But if they somehow, if they did like a Fury, Joshua, if that ever happens, which it won't because Fury has retired. But if anything like that happened and we were in Wembley, maybe co-main event. But I realistically, Naoya Inoue is his own. He's the main event of everything. So, yeah. Either way, the Inoue fight confirmed. Nick Bull fight, TJ Donaghy. I'm not fussed about it. Not really fussed by the undercard either.
Yeah. And one more time for them, tell them about Inoue.
Shut up, because he's in America, man. I'm so excited, by the way, because I can't wait to go on Twitter after he knocks him out and just go, dickhead, all of you.
Yeah, Connor's on that trolling stuff, man.
Yeah. That's boxing this week. That is everything. Like we said, there's a lot of topics, but not a lot of crazy stuff going on. Next week should have some good stuff. Well, we've got the wager. So Paolo is drinking whatever. We don't know yet. Then we've got Nick Bull fight week. And then the 22nd of March? I feel like there is a fight week, but I don't know what. Is it 22nd? Something like that. Yeah, 22nd. Let's have a look.
We've got a live coming up soon as well, I feel like.
22nd of March, boxing. George Kambosos Jr. returns versus Jordan. Okay, so we've got Sky Nicholson as well fighting. All right, there's some decent fights. Big card in Australia. And you got that Terra Mona guy, the newest Matchroom heavyweight, who looks pretty lethal. So some good fighters there. Right, that is all from me. Paolo, would you like to say a few words? Would you like to do the outro?
Yes, man. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Hooked Casuals. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, obviously because you're watching us on here. Follow all of it. We do these things for purely entertainment. Be it there's one person here or there's 50 people here, we'll be here every week. And you can count on that. From me and Connor, good night.